Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives from artists, producers, engineers, and other individuals in the music industry. In each episode, we touch on not only what has helped the person succeed, but we also touch on what has shaped them into the person that they are today. I hope you're able to gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you on your own journey to success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 273 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Today I had a Florida-based artist. Her name is Shunda K. Shunda got connected to me through Dom. Shout out to Dom, always sending me amazing artists. She's an incredible MC, been doing it for over 20 years at this point. She talked about her start in the group called Yo Majesty, what she learned being signed early on. That group ended up breaking up a few years after they got their deal. And then she talked about, being able to be a solo artist, what she learned through doing that, and most recently, reforming Yo Majesty with one of the former members as well. So she has a lot of new music in the works that's going to be coming out here in the fourth quarter of this year. She also talked about doing a tour, what she's excited for, being able to do a local tour in Florida and hopefully eventually do another world tour. And she talked about at the very end, her DJ journey and what that's meant to her. And it's really cool. She's doing a lot of different things, has a few different other businesses as well. I really just loved her energy and her spirit in this episode. She has a very positive aura, and I really think it's gonna, rub off on you guys as well, the listeners. So shout out to Shunda K for joining me today. Awesome conversation. And without further ado, let's get into this one. So we'll just get into it right now. Just kind of have you give you kind of an introduction. How did you get into music? How long have you been doing it? Kind of just some basic info for those that might not know you and what you do.
Okay. Well, I pretty much developed the passion was drawn out of me at a very young age, around the age of like 9, 10. My cousin and I, we started rearranging other people's songs, inserting our name, switching the genders, different things like that. Once I turned 16, 17, I created a group. And we used to write bars and rap on the karaoke machine on my grandma's front porch. And so fast forward to probably about, I would say, 7, 8 years later, I have a group called Yo Majesty. And we kill it at South by Southwest in 2007. We land a record deal with Domino Records in the UK. We got our attorney, we got a publicist, a booking agent, the whole nine. We played some of the biggest festivals in the world, the biggest clubs. So, that's pretty much how it started for me, but it was definitely a grind. It didn't happen overnight. It took time.
Yeah. Well, what would you say kind of the experience was kind of early on as well, being in a group, especially around that time, because that was really before like the internet was taking off. It was kind of right before the blog era and all that stuff. So what was kind of the experience like, early on for you as a member of the group?
We had so much press. We've been covered by some of the biggest publications in the world, Spin, GQ, Rolling Stone. The biggest of the baddest. So it was what we had pictured in our mind. When we would rehearse, we would picture performing in front of a big ass crowd where hundreds of thousands of people, and we manifested that reality. But it took time. It didn't happen overnight. It took us once the group came together, it took us about 6 years after Yo Majesty came together. 6 years of grinding studio, the whole, grinding and getting it out the mud, starting from the bottom. We have that story too. But we manifested it. And so now myself and one of the members, we have reunited and we are putting the group back together. We got a show coming up September 6th at the Benz in St. Pete, Florida, for anybody that's, going to be around during that time. But, we're putting it back together, and we're looking to do the same thing that we did before.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. And I know you've also done a lot of solo work as well in between, now and back then. So where did that decision come from for you to kind of do your own solo stuff as well?
Well, we all started out as solo artists. Your Majesty is what took off first because that's where we were putting our energy. Once we started having friction in the group, which was maybe like a year after we signed the deal, things started falling apart. I realized that I needed to be my own foundation when it came to, being successful in a business as an artist, and make sure, that I put myself first, again, have me as a solid foundation. So that's when it started. And so even now, I make sure that I balance the two, that I'm not putting too much into Your Majesty as the group, because any type of relationship that I have, I want it to be equal give and take.
Yeah.
So, that's the understanding that I have with my band member, and that's what we're doing. But I'm also, doing Shunda K, and it's a totally different vibe. Shunda K is more conscious, very romantic. Your Majesty is, we're party. We know how to juke and have a good time too, but it's more fast paced.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For sure. As far as the business side too, because you talked about, early on being signed, having a manager, all that sort of thing. What have you learned, from being signed back then and dealing with the business side as opposed to now doing things on your own? Do you feel like you've grown and evolved in your understanding of the business as well over the years?
Yeah, definitely. You learn early on that it's a very few people that you can trust in this business. It's cutthroat. We hired and fired so many managers, and with that, it pushed me personally to learn the business. And so now that's why we're able to still be relevant. Like, our music is relevant, but as far as having a presence, I know the formula. And, like you said, when we first came on the scene, Facebook and the social media wasn't popping like that. And so things have changed. And I've been able to keep up with it. And it's just about the visuals, putting yourself out there, creating new music, making sure your music is quality, that it sounds good. You don't want to misrepresent yourself with, a bad mix. So it's just certain things that you have to do to make sure and to ensure your success. And I got the tea.
Yeah.
I got the tea.
Are you totally independent at this point? Or are you still working with, a group of people to kind of help out here and there?
We are independent.
Okay. Awesome.
We do collaborate with other producers, labels, and stuff like that. But at this point in the game, unless you come in with $1 million deal plus at least, 1.5, because Roger got to get his 10% for negotiating the deal. Yeah. Roger is our attorney. If you do not coming with it, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
We have a solid foundation worldwide. We got a global following. So it's just a matter of new music is out, and we're just going to set up some shows and rebuild the buzz like we did before.
Yeah.
Our show, our music is hot. The show is hot. So, we have all the parts that we need to ensure that we're going to be successful this time too.
And I think that's almost the beauty of doing it for almost 20 years at that point, is that you've built, like you said, you built the fan base back then, and there's probably a lot of people that still are familiar with you guys from that era. And so they're kind of following you through the journey, and now that you're kind of coming back in with that, they're going to be excited to hear the new stuff too, which is super cool. So that's very
it's
awesome.
A different vibe. It's more old school. We're singing more. It's chill, but we still have the old hits that we're going to bring out in the live shows too. Yeah. We've been able to reinvent ourselves.
Yeah.
And with age comes wisdom, and we both have been through a lot. So our stories are a little different than they was when we were, in our 20s. I'm saying? It's been real life out here. And so what we're coming with, the people will definitely be able to relate and release. And that's what Your Majesty is all about. When people come out and when they listen to our music, that you can just chill, you can just woosah, and just forget about your problems at that time and just take a break, man. Take a pause for the cause.
Yeah. And on the creative side as well, because, I think there's contrast between obviously writing for yourself as a solo artist and then writing, in a group with someone else or multiple other people. How do you approach that, especially now? Because like you said, it's been so long you've been doing this, and I imagine it's evolved over the years. Where do you think you are now with how you approach writing and what you want to write about and what you want to talk about, in your music?
Well, as far as how I write, it's pretty much the same. When it's me, I realize that I'm telling the whole story by myself. So I got to elaborate. I got 3 verses and a bridge and some hooks. When it's a group, it's going to be condensed. So I need to get what I'm trying to say and give that visual in 16 bars, as opposed to a full song. So that's how my thinking process is. Working with other people, the energy that they bring, it definitely rubs off. So we're going to compliment, and we compliment one another. As far as the content of the lyrics, it's just more grown up now. It's even with Your Majesty, it's more serious, as far as the message. Like, we're talking about real stuff, but we on dance beats, and, we feeding the people knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. While they having a good time too. So it's not as party as, the party we used to party hardy, boy. When Your Majesty coming to the show back in the day, it's party hardy, baby. We rubbing on your monkey kryptonite pussy with some club action. Now now we're more laid back and talking about, again, just real life situations that people can relate to let them know that, hey, we've been through some pretty difficult situations and we made it through, and you can too. And ultimately, that's the message for both Your Majesty and Shunda K. It's just a different delivery.
It's being able to see that evolution too, I'm sure, is a very fulfilling thing, and kind of being able to see the evolution of just the music and how you've lived life since the beginning up until now, which is super cool. I guess I kind of want to ask you, this is total sidebar question. As far as tracks are concerned, because obviously I feel like 3 verses used to be the standard. Now it seems like a lot of songs people are doing 1 verse or maybe 2 verses, that's it, because a lot of songs are like under 2 minutes. Are you still traditional, like you want to do the 3 verses?
Yes, still traditional. I mean, when you don't really have a lot to say, your song gonna be 60 seconds long. When it's just a bunch of rubbish, and pardon me, but I just gotta call it like it is. It's, a bunch of foolishness that, is mainstream now. And so what we're hoping is to bring a renewing energy, a refreshing energy into the music scene, and bring some substance. Even though we're having a good time, we're going to bring a little substance, man. We're trying to help uplift the vibration, raise the vibration of the collective, so we can make the world a better place. We get into that humanitarian side as well. So it's like, it's a whole vision. It's not just the music. The music is a catalyst to other things that we can do to help the world be a better place for all of us.
Hey there, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know about a couple different ways that you can support the podcast. One of the ways is by clicking that support the podcast button within your streaming platform. That is if you want to be a monthly supporter of the show. You can contribute either 99 cents, $5, or $10 a month. So that's the first way, and that's the more traditional way that we've had now for the last couple years. The other method that we actually just recently introduced is from our good friends over at Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a virtual tip jar. We have set our limit to a minimum of $10, but you can go make one-time, one-off donations. So if you visit ko-fi.com/The Proven Knowledge Podcast, you'll be able to donate. And all these different forms of donation go towards getting new guests every single week, getting potential sponsors on board to do giveaways, and overall just making the show better for you guys. So if you want to do that Ko-fi link, it's ko-fi.com /The Proven Knowledge Podcast. Otherwise, again, look for that support the podcast button in your streaming platform if you'd like to be a monthly supporter. And I just want to say thank you guys for your contributions. And without further ado, let's get back into the episode. It opens up a lot of avenues just through being able to have those conversations for sure. But I love that. I think that that's becoming kind of, unfortunately, a little bit of a lost art. Like the 3 or 4 minute songs, because I feel like you're right. If you have something to say, that doesn't lose my attention. I don't know about you, but like I feel like people are too focused on trying to, be in the short term world of TikTok and all this stuff. It's like if you're really making a good piece of art, it's gonna captivate the right person and the right listener. And
being
I think
original, being your authentic self.
Yeah,
and
sure.
a lot of people, they faking it to make it. They not real. They not, who they supposed to be. And everybody's following everybody. So again, with the Your Majesty Shunda K vibe, we want to show people that, hey, love yourself, self-love, self-worth, self-acceptance. Like, accept yourself for who you are, embrace who you are. Stop trying to be something that you're not. Because self-love is the highest vibration. It's the greatest love of all.
Absolutely.
So you always want to be authentic and original.
Absolutely. And do you guys have like a project plan then, like an album is kind of in the works then?
Yes, we do. We're planning to release a new album around October, November. And it'll be pretty much the same for Shunda K as well around that time. So right now we've just been trying to arrange shows where we can get the word out that Your Majesty is back on the scene, get some live footage back up so people can see us and start building the buzz again. But we definitely have some new music planned to be released. And we're working with a pretty big producer out in Amsterdam named Mason. So we got a really hot track. I just shared one of the songs we recorded with him yesterday called Rescue Me. And so when I heard that beat, it just reminded me of Tina Turner. I did my Tina Turner on that one. So, that's one that's going to be dropping soon.
Yeah.
So y'all check out our social media. You can preview our upcoming releases there. For sure.
So it's looking like fourth quarter, a lot of new music's going to be coming, which is very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah.
And as far as the shows go too, because you said, you're planning shows, is there any cities you're looking forward to, being able to perform at for this new music?
Yes, well, we want to perform worldwide, but we're going to start here in Florida. We're going to be touring with a rock band called Last Bias. So we're in the talks right now of doing a co-headlining mini Florida, Georgia tour. And so we'll be announcing all of that on the social medias very soon. The only show we have locked in for now is the show on September 6th at the Benz in St. Pete. But we're working on Orlando, Jacksonville, even Gainesville. We want to get down to Miami. That's where we're from. We're from the FLA, so we got to kick up the dust at home.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, early congrats on that, on everything. I think it's super exciting. And I'm definitely going to be checking out the music when it drops too. Is there anything else that you have kind of in the works that you want to let people know about? Maybe something that's coming up before the end of the year, or something you're even looking forward to in 2026?
Well, I am working on a new business because what I have been embracing is a healing journey for the past, I would say, 4 or 5 years. And just getting back in tune with myself, healing mentally, physically, spiritually, So I created a new business called Return to Healing. And with that, it's going to be pretty much counseling, advice. They say life coach type situation, even guiding people on how to heal themselves naturally with herbs, because I have done it for myself. So just getting back in tune with nature, and that's what the basis of this business is. And again, bringing all of the attention and focus back on yourself, focusing on yourself at this time and healing. I've been doing this parasite cleanse. I'm vegan, so I didn't think that I didn't think about parasites. I'm like, I'm vegan, and so it's like, hey, well, parasites is in everything, and they really, are the root cause of all disease in the body. So for the past week, I've been detoxing and pushing certain products that I'm using to the people that follow me on Facebook, on my personal page and stuff like that. And so, outside of the music, that's what I do. I share wisdom, I share knowledge, I encourage and, try to be a leader to show people how to take back their power and truly take back control of your life so you can make your dreams come true as well. Yeah. It's not too late.
Yeah.
So that's what's coming very soon, that business.
That's incredible. And how can people get involved in that? You said you're on Facebook. I know you're on Instagram as well. Where can people get in touch with you?
Yes, well, everything is still in the works. But once we do finalize everything, I will share it on my Shunda K social medias. So you can check out, the Instagram, the Facebook, and it's just a quick Google search, Shunda K or Your Majesty, and it'll pull up all of our socials. So it'll definitely be on the Shunda K socials within the next week or two. I'm working with the graphic designer. So she's actually just sent me a video since we've been on this interview. So we're working, because it's the urgency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of things in motion.
Everybody need to be brand new.
Oh, for sure. A lot of things in motion too. That's very, very exciting. So congrats on that as well, because I know that's probably a lot of work behind the scenes too, to make all that happen. So that's awesome.
It is. Yeah. It is. And it's not my only business. But you know what I've done? I've tapped in with AI. And so AI is doing a lot of the footwork for me. Yeah. And I'm able to create multiple businesses and be able to leverage some serious finances and generational wealth. It's time to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congrats on that. I got to say, congrats on that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So for
Indeed,
sure.
I appreciate it.
For sure. And we're down to the last few questions here. These are ones I ask on every single episode, more life-related questions. The first one is, if you could go back 10 years ago and give yourself any piece of advice, or maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
I would have not dealt with a lot of the people. I would say all of the people that I was dealing with at that time. But then I realized that, hey, if you didn't deal with them, you wouldn't have learned the lessons. But, now at this particular time in my life, everybody that was in my life then that I was pouring into, denying myself, they're not here.
Yeah.
When I was homeless a couple years ago, they weren't there. And so, as I get older, I realize how precious my time and energy is. And I'm very stingy with it because it's all about self-preservation. Like, ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to save me. You got to save yourself. I got to save myself. So, understanding that, like, I realize how important and really sacred our energy is and how we should value our time more, because our time is our money. Yeah. It's the currency, the energy. So
yeah, and you can't get that time back either. That's a big thing.
No, you can't.
Nope.
It's gone.
Yeah,
that's right.
And if we flip that then and we say 10 years from now, where do you think you envision yourself musically and in life in general?
Well, musically, I'm going to have fully embraced my DJ career, because I started, tapping into the DJing and realized, hey, you can be behind the turntables at 100. You ain't got to be on the front stage with a mic. You can still be controlling the crowd behind the tables.
Yeah.
So in 10 years, that's what I want to be doing so that I can continue touring. I want to travel the world, meet new people, create new businesses, create jobs, just make the world a better place, because ain't nobody coming to save us. So, that's my part. That's what my journey will consist of, is building up, bringing in and ushering in this new earth and actually putting in the work to see it manifest.
Yeah. I got to ask, is there going to be like a separate DJ name, or are you just going to be Shunda K, DJ Shunda K?
I do. I have a DJ name. I actually have a free mixtape. It's 50 tracks. and it is at shundak.com. And so my DJ name is DJ Slow Jam.
Okay.
And I came up with that name because I love R&B. It's like my passion.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a bona fide singer, but I like to sing. And so, DJ Slow Jam, and I'm like, at first, when I created the name, the plan was to just spin only R&B. Until I realized, like, hey, if you're going to DJ. And so the first project that I undertook was remixing my own music. And I created a 50-track mixtape, me and my ancestors, because I tap in with the other side, too. Balancing the spiritual and the physical.
Yeah.
And so we created an amazing mixtape. Y'all go download it for free at shundak.com. Yeah.
That's awesome. It sounds like a lot more festivals in the future for you, for sure, with that.
Oh, it's going to, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. We're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The world is ours. Like, it's, carpe diem, seize the day. Life is what you make it. So I don't have no limit on what I'm going to do. I'm going to do everything I want to do and some.
Yeah, love that. Love that. And do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
Well, just focus on yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Take out time and do for yourself what you do for others. Like, seriously. I used to put myself last all the time and would just make sure everybody else is good and give myself the bare minimum. But no, always start with yourself. Fill your cup. That way it'll overflow and you can help fill other people's cups. But always take care of you first.
Yeah. Always got to start inward and then work outward.
Right.
Big thing. For sure. Well, I got to say, Shunda, I appreciate you so much for stopping by today. Once again, congrats on all the new music coming out soon, and congrats on everything you got going, because you're doing a lot of awesome stuff, and you're welcome back anytime. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys, for listening today. That was episode 273. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit that support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send us any funds, or feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.